Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it is Thursday, November 26th of 2020, and here in the United States, it is Thanksgiving Day. Of course, there's the virus situation, so a lot of people are not having the big family get-togethers that you normally have. I'm not a, I'm not somebody that I was an only child. Both my parents drank. I never had, friends come over. I didn't, sometimes some of them popped over. I didn't, didn't want them to see my father passed out or my mother talking on the telephone nonstop, stuff like that. And then didn't get married till I was 26. Then we had Thanksgiving, but not with large family usually. Uh, but here I am, living with my ex-wife 40 years later, after, or 40 years, divorced for 40 years, and both of us have medical problems. And then, of course, there's a virus. And so Hilary, one of our daughters, lives in the same apartment complex with her son, grown son, and Darlene and I live here with our grown son. We share the expenses here. And Hilary, of course, Darlene loves making turkey, and dressing and what have you. But Hilary bought a big turkey and brought it over. So Darlene is cooking it right now. And then Hilary is making the dressing and all that type of stuff. So here in the United States, Thanksgiving is it's a big thing. And of course, the virus is. There's stories on CNN and things like that about. I heard one lady. I'm not sure if it was on CNN. Might have been on NPR radio. But this family has always had. Thanksgiving was a big thing. Whole families travel a lot, for Thanksgiving. And her father is 83, I think, she said. And this is the first time that he is, I believe, going to be home alone without any, Thanksgiving. Maybe somebody will take him some or something. I don't know, a neighbor or something. Um, but, what? So this is rough. Maybe this, with these vaccines coming, maybe things will get better. But this is going to be a strange, but not for us. It's sort of a normal, you know, uh, Thanksgiving for us here in Fort Worth, Texas, and uh, we don't even have a dining room table. The dining room is the area that my ex-wife showed. This was originally, uh, Darlene, my ex-wife, she lived here uh, in Fort Worth, and then let's see, Russell and that's my grandson. We were in Florida with Ken, and then my one of my sons, and then Russell wanted to come back and be with the family here, so we came back. Russell and I moved into an apartment right next to my ex-wife, and my son, a different son. He was living over there with her, and after quite a few years, well then Russell and I moved, well we were upstairs, that's above my ex-wife. We moved from that upstairs, it's a good thing because of my condition after that, but we moved from upstairs over to this two-bedroom, two-bathroom apartment over here, and then eventually, you know, Darlene and James were paying, the rent, paying the rent over there, and they were paying for cable service and internet service and everything. And then I'm over here with Russell, my grandson, and we're paying for the very same things. So Darlene and I moved in, or she came and moved over here with James. So right now it's my ex-wife, James, and myself. And anyway, she picked the dining room. That's where she wanted to be. She's in a wheelchair. She's either in bed or in the wheelchair. When she goes to her computer, which is she has a computer, of course, in the living room, then she uses her wheelchair, and she sits in the wheelchair for using the computer. So she picked the dining room, which is right next to the kitchen. That's convenient. And so right now we have the turkey cooking, and Hilary, my daughter, and of course my grandson's not helping with any of the cooking or anything like that. But she's cooking Hilary's making the turkey dressing, and probably maybe corn on the cob. I don't know what all she's making, but the problem I have, and I'm not the only one in the family, when a meal like that is put in front of me, I eat, and a lot of it, and then after that, for hours, I'm like, oh no, I don't feel good, You're sitting there thinking, well, Jim, just eat a little bit of it, and then it's not going anywhere. We got a turkey that would feed an entire massive family. The news media says that the turkeys this year that are being sold are smaller because families aren't, you're not having, we got one of the big ones. Oh. As I've mentioned, I have a new cell phone, really. Just, I don't know. I've had it a very short period of time. But as you know, I'm wanting the Pixel G, or the Pixel 4a, I think it is. I can't remember now. I think it's 4a. And the price is about $350. But I just heard from a friend of mine that he just bought one, a new one and everything, and it's $299. So I've been looking at the price on Amazon, $348 or something like that, and I just can't bring myself to. But I guess he'd probably email me back and tell me where he got it for $299. He might have got it from Google Wi-Fi, and it might have been conditioned on buying the phone. I'm not sure. Anyway, in the past I have used, this is EM client reloading. I used it in the past. It's a mail client program. I use Google Gmail, but I have, of course, several other, accounts that I really don't use. I forget which ones they are. They're set up to automatically go to, the Gmail, and then they get imported to whichever mail client. Or I even use the browser to, bring up Google Gmail. But I've used EM client in the past, and I just reinstalled it today. And I liked it. I remember there again, a thing I should have written, I liked it. I don't remember why I stopped using it. I think the reason I stopped using it was that Grammarly didn't work with it, and I've stopped actually using Grammarly. I can't make up my mind. And I've been using now the Microsoft Office editor, which is not as good as Grammarly. If they hit me with another one of their, I pay for Office and I really don't use anything with it except, you know, Microsoft's Office. Anyway, I just installed EM Client, and yesterday or the day before I installed Postbox. That's another EM client. Let me see if I can pull that up. Here it is. And I like it. Um, um, I like it. Now, the Microsoft or the Windows editor does work with it, appears to work with it. So maybe EM Client also, I'm not sure, we'll find out. But as you can see, I'm just, I, this is the Amazon, what do they call it? This is in the very beginning. System updates were successfully installed. Fire, Amazon Fire, just a few minutes ago, because this thing has been, battery's been dead and it's been laying underneath something for months. And I don't know. I guess I'm like you. Maybe you're worse. Probably you're worse. I don't know. I've got I need to updating Postbox. Um, I just need to settle in on something. Actually, what I want to do is what I actually want to do, I'm going to switch. I want to switch over to Apple, and you know, they come out with some new products and upgrade it and all that kind of stuff. And I maybe that would get me settled down more. You know, over there, as you know, I have 3 Panasonic cameras. Here's one, the LX7. It's, you know, it's old. I have a on a tripod right now. It's been sitting on a shelf. The G7, Panasonic G7. I just put it on the tripod, and I just found the battery eliminator that I bought for it, so that I now have it plugged into AC. And I think I'm going to, I ordered a inexpensive device to hook that into, you know, from HDMI into USB, and use my Panasonic G7 camera instead of a USB. Well, it's sort of be a USB because it's running, but and disconnect my Logitech Brio camera. That's the plan. Now, of course, the problem right now is I cannot, I haven't looked for it, but I know it's going to be hard to find, and that is the cable that goes from HDMI into USB. They're not expensive, and I probably should have ordered one from Amazon. Just that's what happens. I have boxes full of cables and other things that I end up ordering things for them, cables or whatever, because I can't find it. Then as soon as it comes in, eventually when I'm looking for something else, I run across the cable that I need or needed. So let's see here. This is Postbox. Let me minimize this. This is Postbox, and actually Postbox looks a lot like EM Client. But I liked EM Client. I ran it with it a while. I can't remember why. Postbox also I used in the past. I've used about everything in the past. Right now I'm using Manicam for this video. Manicam has that virtual thing that they insist that they want. I actually haven't gone and even when I'm not running Manicam, if I pull up OBS or something else, Manicam, it'll pop up in the list or whatever of Manicam, Virtual Cam, and I actually have been uninstalled. I did own 4 licenses with Manicam. I think I'm down to 2 that are current. And of course I have Manicam on my camera, my cell phone, which I'm not sure I've ever used it on the cell phone. But I'm not sure, and I use, of course, Outlook Express is something I use for years and years and years, and that's one reason I'm paying for Microsoft Office, because I never use Word, there must be something I use from Office. I don't think there is, except your mail client or whatever, and I forget, they're not calling theirs Outlook Express anymore. What are they calling their mail program? Anyway, I'm going to stop here, and I may come back and you may see a picture of the turkey, if I can get a picture of it before it's down to bone. Anyway, if you're in the United States, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. I hope somehow you're able to communicate with your family. I hope that you're not taking risk. It'd just be so tragic if, because of getting together, then your family comes down with it, or, who was it? It was on the news or something. No, a friend of mine. No. Yes, a friend of mine. A friend of mine, his wife fell, and I'm not sure it's ankle, foot, or whatever. I mean, it's I think something that she had to have surgery, and it takes a long time to heal, and it's very painful. Although I think she's kind of a little bit through the pain situation. The pain is really bad, unless you're medicating yourself, and she has big time mobility. She isn't able to use crutches. She would fall and stuff like that. So they're not, this Thanksgiving, usually they do get out with family or friends or stuff like that, but they're not going to this time. It's just going to be them at home, but their neighbor is bringing over, turkey dressing, the whole thing for them, so they don't have to get out. and I'm glad I'm glad he's doing that, or they're doing it. She doesn't need to fall. She doesn't need to fall again. So anyway, thank you very much for watching.